Hello and welcome to episode 200 of Explore Your Enthusiasm with me, Tara Swiger. So excited it's the 200th episode to celebrate. Today we have a call-in show. I asked you guys a couple weeks ago to call in and leave me a message and tell me what you love about the podcast and if you had a question to ask it. So today's episode is going to be your recordings of the sweet, sweet messages you left me. I have links to everybody who called in and shared their message with me on the show notes, taraswiger.com/podcast200. And if you want to call in, you're still welcome to. The same numbers apply. You can call and leave a message and we'll play it in the future. For those of you who called in and asked a question, we're actually going to save your questions and do the next several episodes starting out with your question and my answer to your question. So thank you guys so much for calling. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And now, let's hear your messages.
Hi, Tara. Just wanted to say that I absolutely love the podcast. I often listen while I do household chores like ironing and tidying the house, only to drop everything and make some notes. You always know what I'm struggling with somehow. The best thing about your advice is that you give the tools for me to think about the solution myself, not just saying what I should do. I love that. Keep it going. You have a fan in me. Love from Norway, Nicole, from kolikecreations.com. Bye!
Hi, Tara. I'm calling to say congratulations on your 200th podcast. This is Deb Overath of Science Knit Still Works. I'm a tech editor mainly for knitting patterns and more recently added virtual assistant services to my business for designers and shops in the fiber world, knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, etc. I also help my husband with his business, Oso Bay Farm. He grows flowers in our backyard and sells them at local farmers markets. I first heard about you probably several years ago, maybe 5, maybe less, on Craftlit when Heather Ordover, who does the Craftlit podcast, was a Starship captain. I checked you out. I signed up for emails, but then I ended up buying your book, Market Yourself, and then later Mapping Your Business. And I would occasionally watch your podcast. I especially like to read on your blog about what books you were reading. And in general, I just love all the advice you put out there. A lot of it for free that helps small business owners, especially women, figure out how to make their businesses successful, whatever success means for them. And after I started to grow my business with the help of Jolie Creates and the Tech Editor Hub, happens to be another Starship captain, I decided it was time to join the Starship myself last summer. And I love the community you've built through both the podcast and the Starship and how willing you are to share your lessons, the lessons that you've learned with others. And I just wanted to wish you all the best in your endeavors. And again, congratulations on number 200. Bye.
I'm Mary from Elemental Fiberworks, and while I've been a Starship captain for a few years now, my first Tara experience was the Explore Your Enthusiasm podcast. The thing I love most about Explore Your Enthusiasm is that even if I don't listen for a few weeks or months, when I jump back into listening, it's pretty much always immediately applicable to whatever my current biz situation is. No matter what I'm trying to get done, Tara is in my head telling me it's okay to be right where I am and make progress in my own way. Congrats on 200 episodes, and I hope to listen to many more.
Hi, Tara. This is Karen from Designs by Georgie in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I just wanted to call in and congratulate you on this being your 200th episode. As a longtime crafter who's turned it into a business a little over a year ago, these podcasts have helped me each step of the way. It is a very valuable tool to have this wealth of knowledge available to listen to whenever I want to. Thank you for such an exciting first year as a Starship captain, and looking forward to 2018 and the adventure that is bringing to us both. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Sarah Walworth. I am a knitting tech editor at www.tricoedit.com, and I get great help from Tara's podcasts because they always seem to answer a question that I have had recently about running my business. And I often use her archives to find out how to handle certain situations or how to handle my own personal struggle with certain aspects of running a creative business. I am a member of the Starship, and I first joined because I didn't know how to run a business, and I worked through her different coursework, and all of it seemed to address the questions that I had as a new business owner in the creative industry. And each step of the way has taken me deeper into my confidence of running my business and has helped me to retain my clients and also to be enthusiastic about the services that I provide. I think the best part about the Starship for me is the chats. Weekly chats are the highlight of my week, and every Wednesday I sign in to the Starship chat and get to check in with my business colleagues. And sometimes I get help because I ask a question and then I get everybody's feedback. But other times I'm able to help other colleagues. And it is incredibly wonderful to be positive and supportive of other creative businesses and to see how other people solve their problems and realize that I'm not the only one. I'm not on an island by myself, that to be a part of a creative community has been incredibly helpful to me and to my well-being as a business owner.
Thank you so much for all the sweetness and the niceness. I'm so glad you guys love the podcast. I love doing it. It has been an amazing 4 years. Working with you guys, talking to you guys, hearing your stories. It's just been such a blessing in my life. And I just thank you so much for listening. A lot of the callers mentioned the Starship, their Starship captains, and that's part of listening to the podcast is part of what led them to the Starship. And as I was listening to everybody's messages, I realized I wasn't planning on opening the Starship up again until December. But after listening to all of those messages, I realized it's kind of mean to let you hear about how great the Starship is and how much people love it and then not, make it available for you. So for the next 3 days only, so you're listening to this on Wednesday, the Starship is open and it will close on Friday. So what you get when you join the Starship is immediate access to Chart Your Stars, which is going to help you figure out where you are and where you want to go in your business for the next year, and then break it down into a doable plan. Starting at the beginning of April, you will go through map making, which will take your goal for the next quarter, because it's the end of quarter one, beginning of quarter two, will help you make a plan for exactly what you need to do to reach that goal. You'll also get access to our weekly live text chats with me. They're at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. Everybody gets a chance to check in on how they're doing, ask me their questions, get my feedback, get everybody in the group's feedback. They're like the best part. And then there's also a super active Facebook group where you can post your questions and get answers from me, from everybody else, and monthly Q&As with me. So April 3rd is our next Q&A at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can send in your question and I'll answer. We're specifically going to talk about pay yourself. And membership to the Starship gives you access to my whole library of classes. So there are over 15 classes immediately available. Everything from marketing and how to talk about your work to planning a great work day to doing your first craft show. The classes that I have been creating for the last 7 years are all available in the library for you when you join. So you can find that at taraswiger.com/starshipbiz. If you missed it, the Starship's closed again. You can put in your email address and I'll send you a note when it reopens next time. But I just wanted to do that to celebrate the 200th episode of the podcast and all of your sweet messages. And if the Starship is right for you, go check it out. I would love to have you. And if it's not right for you right now, take a deep breath, keep enjoying the podcast, and keep listening. I hope you have a really enthusiastic day. Thank you so much for being here.